Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fit and fine. So dear students, as you all are aware that in the last video lesson, we did summary of lost spring, both the parts of this lesson. In part 1, the story about the rag pickers of Simapuri is there, and in part 2, the bangle makers of Firozabad have been described. So both are the victim of extreme level of poverty, that is perpetual poverty. Today in this video we are going to discuss more about the same lesson with the help of a PPT. So let me show you a PPT on your screen and discuss more about the lesson. Anit Jung's Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood. You can see the season spring. What is child labor? As the authoress talks about child labor. So child labor is the work undertaken a child that is harmful to them in some way. Undertaken by a child. Child labor is the work undertaken by a child that is harmful to them in some way. The child labor could be harmful by making them sick, stopping them from getting an education, or damaging them emotionally. Happenings about the world. 246 million children are child laborers. 73 million working children are less than 10 years old. How terrible it is. Every year, 22,000 children die in work related to accidents. 5.7 million children are forced to live in debt bondage or other forms of slavery. The largest number of working children are in the Asia Pacific region. Most children work in the harmful state or in the homes on the street without any legal protection. Children exploited in various ways. Organization to eradicate child labor. UNICEF, United Nations Children Education Fund. CRY, Child Rights and You. ILO, International Labour Organization. CACL, Campaign Against Child Labour. RYLA, Protract Youth Leadership Award. About the author. Author was born in Rourkela, Hyderabad, in year 1964. Education, she got her education in Hyderabad and USA. Career, she was a writer. Focus, the grinding poverty and traditions which condemn the children to life of exploitation. Profession, editor and columnist for various newspapers in India and abroad. Ways children are exploited: fireworks, construction, bangles, tea shops, mechanic sheds, brick industry, child labor. Why do children work? Being born into a poor family and working to earn money to survive them and their family, to support them and their family, getting work experience in order to get a better job in the future, to earn pocket money to purchase things they want, being the head of their household. Why do children work? They or their family members have been threatened them with harm if they do not work. If they do not work, they or their family members have been threatened with harm if they do not work, being taken against their will and used or sold to corrupt people, being offered jobs and tricked into accepting a job without understanding what is involved, often ending up in plunge which is unfamiliar. The contrast as it is. Theme of Lost Spring. The plight of children forced into labor earlier in life and denied the opportunity of schooling. Sahib-e Alam. Story of Sahib-e Alam. Sahib-e Alam rag picker was a rag picker of 9 to 10 years from distant village of Dhaka. He hailed from distant village of Dhaka. As it is not clear, so let me show you a different PPT. Yes, it is more clear. Ani Chand, 1944, was born in Rourkela and spent her childhood and adolescence in Hyderabad. She received her education in Hyderabad and in the United States of America. Her parents were both writers. Annie Chung began her career as a writer in India. She has become an editor and columnist for major newspapers in India and abroad. She has authored several books. The following is an excerpt from her book titled Lost Spring: Stories of Stolen Childhood. Here she analyzes the grinding poverty and traditions which condemn these children to a life of exploitation. Looking for means searching. Perpetual state of poverty means continuous condition. Slog their daylight hours means work very hard in all through the day. Dark hutments means number of dingy huts. Roof over his head means shelter. Impose the baggage on the child, force the burden on the child. Theme, main theme, the plight of street children forced into labor early in life and denied of opportunities of schooling. Sub-theme, the carelessness of society and the political class to the sufferings of the poor. Title, Spring is the season of optimism and hope. It symbolizes life. Unfortunately, millions of children in our country waste their childhood in rag picking and other hazardous industries. The joys of childhood, the vibrancy of spring, is lost either in the garbage or in the dingy cells with furnaces. The grinding poverty and traditions condemn these children to a life of exploitation. They see very little hope of escaping from their impoverished life of misery and deprivation. Moreover, years of mind numbing toil kill all initiative and the ability to dream. They resign themselves to fate. Literary devices, irony, Sahib Alam, which means the Lord of the universe, is directly in contrast to what Sahib is in reality. Hyperbole, drowned in an air of desolation. Metaphor irony, Simapuri, a place of periphery of Delhi, yet miles away from it. Contrast, for the children it is wrapped in wonder. For the elders, it is a means of survival. Similarly, as her hands move mechanically like the tongues of a machine, I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangles she helps make. Paradox, contrast, she still has bangles on her wrist but no light in her eyes. Metaphor, sarcasm, contrast, few airplanes fly over Firozabad. Metaphor, web of poverty, the steel canister seems heavier than the plastic bag he would carry so lightly over his shoulders. Hyperbole, metonymy, scrounging for gold. Hyperbole, sarcasm, and survival in Simapuri means rag picking. Through the years, it has acquired the proportion of a fine art. Hypnosis. Sahib's family lives in Simapuri, in a place on the periphery of Delhi, yet miles away from it, metaphorically. Hypnosis. Sahib's family lives in Simapuri, a place on the periphery of Delhi, yet miles away from it, metaphorically. About 10,000 poor rag pickers lives in structures of mud with roofs of tin and tarpaulin, devoid of sewage, drainage, or running water. They have lived here for more than 30 years without identity, without permits, but the ration cards. Food is more important for survival than an identity. Wherever they find food, they pitch their tents that become transit homes. Children grow up in them, becoming partners in survival. And survival in Simapuri means rag picking. Garbage to them is gold. It is their daily bread. Those who live here are squatters who came from Bangladesh in 1971. They left their beautiful land of green fields and rivers because repeated floods swept away their fields and homes, leaving them on the verge of starvation. So they came to India for better livelihood opportunities. Firozabad is dominated by bangle industry. Most families are engaged in making bangles. People have spent generations working around furnaces, welding glass, and making bangles. Working in the Glass bangles industry is physically and mentally hazardous. About 20,000 children work in the glass furnaces with high temperature, in dingy cells without air and light. They are more adjusted to the dark than to the light outside. That is why they often end up losing their eyesight before they become adult. There is possibility of skin burn also. They live in stinking lanes choked with garbage, in hovels with crumbling walls, wobbly doors, no windows, crowded with families of humans and animals coexisting in a primeval state. They live in stinking lanes choked with garbage, in hovels with crumbling walls, wobbly doors, no windows, crowded with families of humans and animals coexisting in a primeval state. In spite of hard labor, many of them do not enjoy even one full meal in their entire lifetime. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles rings in every homes. Years of mind-numbing toll have killed all initiative and the abilities to dream. They resign themselves to fate. Poverty, social customs, and stigma of caste conspire to keep the workers in the bangle industry of Firozabad in poverty. Sahukars, middlemen, law-keepers, bureaucrats, policemen, and politicians exploit these workers and create such a vicious circle that they are unable to break. They are unable to organize themselves into a cooperative because if they get organized, they will be hauled up by the police, beaten and dragged to jail for doing something illegal. Moreover, there is no leader among them who could raise their problems with and help them see things differently. Now, additional points, extra shots. On the writer questioning a child as to why he was barefoot, his simple answer was that his mother did not bring his shoes down from the shelf. But the other boy felt that it was just an excuse, as he would throw them off away. When yet another boy expressed his desire for shoes, as he had never owned a pair all his life, the writer recalled that during her travels across the country, she had seen children walking barefoot in cities and on village roads. People had informed her that it was not lack of money but a tradition to stay barefoot. But she wondered if this was only an excuse to explain the perpetual state of poverty in the country. She had heard of a boy from Udipi who prayed every day morning for a pair of shoes. Sahib is scrounging for gold in the garbage dumps. Garbage to them is gold. It is their daily bread, a roof over their heads, even if it is a leaking roof. For children, garbage has a meaning different from what it means to their parents. For the children, it is wrapped in wonder, sometimes finding a rupee, even a 10 rupee note, or even silver coins sometimes. For the elders, it is means of survival. Sahib liked tennis game, but he could only watch it standing behind the fence of the neighborhood club. Once some rich boy gave Sahib his discarded tennis shoes. The fact that there was a hole in one of them did not bother him. For one who had walked barefoot, even shoes with a hole was a dream come true. Mukesh's father is an impoverished bangle maker, despite of years of hard labor, first as a tailor, then as a bangle maker. He has failed to renovate a house, send his two sons to school. He could only manage to reach them, to teach them, not reach them, to teach them the art of making bangles. It is his karam, his destiny, says Mukesh's grandmother. She has watched her own husband go blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles. She implies that a good given lineage can never be broken. She implies that a God given lineage can never be broken. Born in the caste of bangle makers, they have seen nothing but bangles in every house, in every street of Firozabad. The writer Anis Jung sees two distinct worlds, one of the family caught in the web of poverty, burdened by the stigma of caste in which they are born. The other is vicious circle of the sahukars and middlemen, the policemen, the law keepers, the bureaucrats, and the politicians. Together they have imposed the baggage on the child that he cannot put down. Before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father. The writer wonders if Savita, a young girl, knows the sanctity of the bangles she helps make. It symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag, auspiciousness in marriage. The old woman beside her still has bangles on her wrist, but no light in her eyes. एक वक्त शेर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया, she says in her voice of drained of joy. She has not enjoyed even one full meal in her entire life. Her husband, an old man, knows nothing except mangles. All he has done is make a house for the family to live in. What many have failed to achieve in their lifetime. He has a roof on his head. Mukesh wants to be a motor mechanic and is prepared to walk to the garbage to learn. He never dreams of flying a plane. As to the slum dwellers in Firozabad, planes are a far-fetched reality. So when the writer asks him if he also dreams of flying a plane, he feels embarrassed. He is content to the dream of cars that he sees in the town, but few airplanes fly over Firozabad. Because of the limited exposure in the slum of Firozabad, Mukesh dreams within his means. So it's all about the lesson, dear students, in which we have gone through the complete summary, extra shorts, difficult words and their meanings. As you all are aware that in term 1 only MCQs will be there. So after revising the lessons, we are practicing MCQs. So now we have finished the lesson. We are going to practice MCQs based on extract. So here you can see question number 1. Read the extract given below and answer the questions that follow. First extract for you. Food is more important for survival than an identity. If at the end of the day we can feed our families and go to bed without an aching stomach, we would rather live here than in the fields that gave us no grain. Say a group of women in the tattered saris where I asked them why they left their beautiful land of green fields and rivers. Wherever they find food, they pitch their transit tents that becomes transit homes. Children grow up in them, becoming partners in survival. And survival in Simapuri means rag picking. Though the years it has acquired the proportion of a fine art, garbage to them is gold, it is their daily bread. A roof over their heads, even if it is a leaking roof, but for a child it is even more. So these are the questions which you have to answer. So please take the screenshot. Okay, so after you have done, I will match the answers with you. So you must practice the questions which are being discussed in the videos. So thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.